All right, happy time zone. And this is going to be probably the last of this series regarding this single gigantic list of conversation starters. It has a bunch of stupid ones at the end after the last one that I went through yesterday. Well, the ones about books aren't bad, but then it's like a category. TV shows and movies, everybody talks about those kinds of things all the time. But then there's a category of app conversation starters, like talking about your favorite apps on your phone, which just seem too silly. And then phone conversation starters, which is like, what do you wish your phone could do? And that's just, I don't know. Doesn't sound interesting. Music conversation starters, that's all right. Last song you listen to. Favorite movie soundtrack. Do you like classical? What song puts you in a good mood? This seems very standard to me. Any songs that bring a tear to your eye. Um, Bands or types of music you like to listen to when you exercise. I don't know. They just seem they seem quite generic. But I did like the travel conversation starters. I only glimpsed at them. Where are they? Sports. We like sports and we don't care who knows. I don't care to talk about sports. Sports are for watching. Restaurant conversation starters was also a bit the. Here we go. Travel. Where would you like to travel to next? I want to go everywhere. Where would I go to next? Would depend on the time of year. And, money being no object, right? Am I going right now? Or is it just the next place? Is the question really what travel destination excites me the most, right? That all things being equal, it would be my immediate next choice for a place to go, like for its own sake, not visiting a person as a crumb or a friend, um, just the place to go for the sake of that place being the place that it is. I said place a lot. Um, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Ireland. Maybe Ireland in the spring, or Germany or Austria with my mom in the winter, or one of the smaller spots in Japan for the Cherry Blossom Festival, which is coming up soon, actually. I have to learn Japanese, or German, depending. I could pick a little up real quick. So, uncertain. What's the longest plane trip you have taken? 13 hours nonstop each way. The way there was fine, sort of. Might turn this into its own little story. Maybe I'll make a short out of it. But on the way there, I got to eat dinner, knock myself out with some NyQuil, and then wake up to the smell of breakfast and other details. But on the way back, it was a daytime flight, and the NyQuil did not work. And it was terrible, and I hated it, and it was economy. Um, I was 13 hours. I don't want to take any more legs longer than 5 hours ever again in the entirety of my whole life. Thank you. What's the best way to travel? Depends on the distance. Are you crossing the ocean? Probably a plane. I mean, boats are cool, but I feel like I could only be on one for so long. Trains are also cool. What's the scenery like? Am I by myself? Is anybody next to me? Did a weirdo sit in the seat next to me, even though all the other seats are empty? Even if they're not empty, am I crammed next to a weirdo? It depends. There's a lot of independence in a car, but also a lot of responsibility. If you're driving, you have to stay awake, and it's just bleh. Um, I do love flying though. I like planes, especially smaller-ish planes. What is the most relaxing place I've been? Relaxation is a mindset. Um, but I think wherever it was probably raining at the time. I do enjoy a good rain. A nice solid thunderstorm will just knock me right out. So, I'm not sure. Oh, underneath it says, are they more of a beach and chill or a cabin and chill kind of person? Find out with this question. That's not what you find out. You ask them if they prefer beach or forest cabin. That's not the question you asked. Do you prefer traveling alone or with a group? Never traveled with a group. What do you think of tour group packages? Probably good. I don't know. Do you prefer to go off the beaten path when you travel? A little bit, but I stay on trails in national parks for the love of everything green. Stay on the trail in the national parks. Keep your dog on a leash. It will get eaten or jump in a freaking geyser. It has happened. I worked at the national park when something like that happened. Keep your dogs on a leash or leave them at home with a trusted friend and carer, and you just have your adventures. So if you get close to a wildlife, it's your consequences and not your poor dogs. For the sake of everything. Jeez. What was the most overhyped place you traveled to? I don't go to overhyped places. Have you traveled to any different countries? Which ones? Yes. Not telling. Where's the most awe-inspiring place you have been? You know what? It's hard to decide one. I've been to a bunch of places. Now, I didn't, people are like, you have a lot of money. I do not have a lot of money. I spend it all traveling. Um, I guess I'm going to have to tell you about some of the places I've been to answer this question. I have been to Machu Picchu in southern Peru. I have been to Teotihuacan in Mexico. I've been to Topkapı Sarayı in Istanbul, Turkey. I have been to Mauna Kea on the big island of Hawaii. I have been to, I didn't climb. I have seen El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. I have been to a lot of places that are awe-inspiring. I'm not sure exactly how to rank one of them over the other. I've driven through the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming. Incredible place. Incredible. Super cool things. Amazing places I've seen. I really can't rank them. All right, what is the best thing about traveling? How about the worst thing? Best thing, new stuff. Worst thing, also new stuff. No predictable outcomes. Usually the worst thing, though, is other people being unkind or entitled or jerks. What's the worst hostel you stayed at? How about the best hotel? Well, each of them have been probably places that I have worked at. Because, life is a spectrum. How do you think traveling to a lot of different countries changes a person? Well, I should hope it does, but it doesn't always. I know some people who've been to a lot of different countries who were just snobby jerk faces, and they think that their personal stuff is the best everything, and don't seem to have really expanded. They've just collected. They collect experiences like little trophies they show off to other people, and they don't actually feel them very deeply. They don't let it change or expand them, really. Talk about some of the interesting people you've met while traveling. I'm the most interesting person who's traveling. What do you think of staycations? Staycations are great. Most people don't see the coolest stuff in their home area. They travel really far and see things far away, but they don't see, like, I haven't seen the coolest tourist spots in my home state, but I've seen Machu Picchu and Teotihuacan. Where do you get your recommendations for what to do and where to stay when you travel? The internet. Combination of seasoned traveler, but who are still amateurs. That's a little information from the professionals. I know they're all brand bought, um, but some of the information is still okay. And just basic searches. Just what is here, what is there like, and let's see some pictures of it. Um, yeah, that's the end of the travel conversation starters. Let's see what else they've got. Technology conversation starters. That sounds really tedious, too deep. Clothes/fashion conversation starters. What's your favorite shirt? uh, the one that fits and is clean right now. Fashion trends, comfort piece of clothing you own, embarrassing piece of clothing you own. You guys think I own a lot of stuff. How do clothes change? How the opposite sex views a person. Fun fact, that is garbage. Just like you can't make sure people will think a certain thing about you based on what you wear. That's real silly. And it's also completely culturally, it just varies greatly from like how you grew up and where you grew up and under what kind of circumstances you grew up, what you think about someone when you look at them just based on the shape and color of their clothes. Dumb. If you didn't care at all what people thought of you, what clothes would you wear? Comfortable ones. What is the best pair of shoes you've ever owned? Oh, they're so good. Those cowboy boots. Oh my god, I love them. Round toed, wide toe box, all leather. Oh my god, the cat is upset that the door's closed. Her life is ruined by a barrier. For goodness sake. Go away, cat. Okay. Why were they so good? Because they were comfortable. And they were all leather. I had to stop wearing them because the sole came apart and I couldn't afford to repair them. Who do you think has the biggest impact on fashion trends? Actors and actresses, musicians, fashion designers, or consumers? Oh, I think the answer is much more diabolical than that. Goals, personal goals? No, we're not doing that. That's weird. Seasons. This is also very trite and general and standard conversation. What's your favorite season? Did your family take seasonal vacations? Did you prefer fall or spring? Seasonally active, refreshing thing on summer day. Best thing on a cold day. You just gotta do what frozen things do in summer. Where's the nicest place you've been to in the fall? Favorite thing to eat during winter. Better to live where there are 4 seasons or where one season takes up most of the year. That is an extreme, or you're just wildly vacillated. Um, yeah, holiday conversation starters. That could be weird. Holidays could be too personal. Most holidays are religious. And most holidays are commercialized. What would a commercialization look like? If you could make a holiday, what would it be like? That was kind of interesting. Education conversation starters. I can start to get a little classist. Homeschooling, technology and education. Who taught you what some good and bad things about the education system in your country? Too deep. Food conversation starters. Food is a good topic of conversation, I suppose. But we're at more than 250 now. What's your favorite type? What do you absolutely hate? What do you think of buffets? I never get my money's worth at a buffet. I do not eat that much at once, and it's really a waste of money. That's really a waste of money for me to go to a buffet. Even sushi buffets, I can't eat that much sushi. It just fills me up. And then, like 45 minutes later, I'm hungry again. But now we're not there. Last time I had a food fight. Oh my god, I've never had a food fight. Food looks disgusting but tastes delicious. What do you get every time you go grocery shopping? Get the same thing every time. Even one item. I don't know. If your life was a meal, what kind of meal would it be? That's really esoteric. Do you want your last meal to be? If you're on death row, they always make it really morbid. It's like, pretend you're a horrible criminal and you've been sentenced to death. What meal? Who could eat at a time like that? Whose mental state is going to be appropriate for eating I mean, maybe like 3 days before. Not right before. That seems silly. What food do you know you shouldn't eat but can't stop yourself? The only food you shouldn't eat is food that harms you if you're allergic to it. But then also the can't stop yourself part. Like that's silly. If you're allergic to a food, don't eat it. Right? If it like harms you, don't eat it. Do you like spicy food? Why not? Government regulated food. People make mistakes about food. Do you feel the need to correct them? I don't know what a mistake about food is, but yes, I like having accurate information. And if someone near me has inaccurate information, I would like to help them by fixing the information they have. Most people don't appreciate that, though. Too bad. Weird conversation starters. If your mind were an island, what would it look like? There are games about that. What flavor of ice cream do you wish existed? That's not a question you can answer. All flavors exist right now. If you had a personal mascot, what would your mascot be? That can get real weird. If you were king or queen, what would your throne look like? Time freezes for everyone, but you for one day. What do you do? Just one day? Or like a week? I would start with sleeping. You have to relive one day of your life forever. This is a good question. Which day do you choose? I think repeating any single day of my life forever, Groundhog Day style, would drive me cuckoo beans, banana face. But that could be an interesting conversation to think about. What does your own personal hell look like? Oh, what about personal heaven? You find a remote that can rewind, fast forward, stop, and start time. What do you do with it? Well, I think Adam Sandler made a movie, something about that. Probably not anything responsible. If you could call up anyone in the world and have a 1 hour conversation, who would you call? Oh, that is a good question. There'd be a lot of people. The world has become infested with rabid dogs with the intelligence of a 5-year-old. Where do you hole up to survive the apocalypse? That is cheesy and weird. This is the last one. Yeah. A portal to another world opens in front of you. You don't know how long it will stay open or if you'll be able to get back through after you go through. What do you do? At this point, especially if I have my go bag, I am out. And it looks like it's time to be out now because things are happening in my periphery. So I hope that this has been an enjoyable audio/video and that everyone has a good time zone. Bye.